Hey, what's up, New Zealand and the world? Lucas Lawman's Kiwi Voice. We are standing with Mike Wilson here, who is one of the local candidates for Christchurch Council. This is one of a series of interviews that we're going to be doing for the local candidates here in Christchurch. So thanks for joining us, Mike. Really appreciate taking the time to hang out with us.
Not a problem. Thanks for speaking to me.
Excellent. All right, so just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. Who is Mike Wilson?
Well, basically in a nutshell, I've been in Burwood for 30 years. That's myself and the family. I've got 2 children. They've now grown up, left the nest, and I've got 2 grandchildren near the area, and for the one on the way.
Yep.
My background is a policing background.
Okay.
I was in the police for about 23 years, mainly in Christchurch and around, and I left about 20 years ago as a senior sergeant at Littleton.
Sure.
And since then I've been running a small accommodation business. Up until we've got quite a few cancellations during COVID, so that sort of died a little bit. Yep. But otherwise, that and I've done a bit of work in corrections.
Okay, yeah, right.
And yeah.
Varied background. So what motivated you to want to run for council?
Yeah, well, I've just been noticing over time, especially more so in the last 6 months or so, the encroachment of central government into our local government. And they're doing it legislatively, such as 3 waters, fluoride, climate change mitigation, matters like that.
Yes.
And I thought, well, it's not. Yeah, I didn't like it. Very, very uncomfortable with it. Mm-hmm. But that in itself didn't make me want to take the reins for council. What really pushed me towards doing this was the cycleway.
Right.
The $22 million cycleway out to Herwood. Which basically most of the people that submitted didn't want it, but the People's Choice candidates within council vetoed that, and they go ahead with a $22 million project.
Right, yeah, so just not comfortable with centralisation, and then I suppose the straw that broke the camel's back was that cycleway issue that everyone was opposing. Okay, so what do you think, obviously you've mentioned the cycleway, but what do you think is some of the most pressing issues that you'd like to tackle were you to get in?
Right, well, major thing is, and we'll have to wait till the results of the elections, is keeping party politics out of council.
Yes.
And I'm noticing it with Labour or People's Choice, but also on the other side we've got the independent citizens, who are another wee group, and it's just what I'm looking at as being a true independent voice for my area of Burwood.
Yes.
So I want to actually tackle the problems with my area, promote likes of our roading and infrastructure and drainage in Burwood, and when I say Burwood, not the suburb but the ward, which goes through to Aranui.
Yes.
Okay. And touches on the wastewater treatment plant as well, and that's another debacle that I went along to 2 meetings for that. Really, the people there are suffering. Yeah. They're not getting any answers. I guess what I'm looking at is when we go to council, when there's an issue to debate, that it is actually debated in council, that these groups that are party politics are not getting together before a meeting to preempt a result, especially if they have the numbers. And we do see this with Labour. They do this, and they're not actually representing the people, they're representing the party, and that's not what council's about. Yeah.
So that's very similar, I suppose, in theme to the centralisation of local governance. I guess you're saying there, and for the viewers out there, we are Mike is a Burwood man. We're standing right in the middle of the ward right now as we speak. So probably the thing to finish off on, Mike. I mean, there's been a lot of coverage in the mainstream media about some of these local candidates. What are your thoughts on these accusations that are being throwing out and the whole Voices for Freedom thing and all of that stuff?
Yeah, okay. Look, I'll be straight. I subscribe to their email. Mm-hmm. Now, as I said before, I've been in the police 23 years. I'm a critical thinker.
Yes.
I've got to get both sides of a story for any issues, not just one that's been a narrative that's been pushed on us, but you've got to look at the other side too. So somewhere in between will be the answer.
Yes.
And at the moment, what I'm noticing is just one narrative, and we need to see both from experts, not just me, because I'm not an expert in many fields, but I know how to ask questions.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, and I'm exactly the same with Kiwi Voice. I mean, I deliberately go and keep an eye on mainstream media and all sorts of other things that I may not agree with to get both sides. Hey, look, that's awesome. I really appreciate you talking to us. If people want to know more about you, have you got a website or anything, or if they want to get more information, how do they do that?
Yep, I've got a wee website now. I'm not a technical person, and I'm a one-man band. I've got to say, I'm just doing this by myself.
Yes.
But yeah, I've got this called Burwood Ward.co.nz.
Okay, cool.
And you can email me at mike@burwoodward.co.nz.
We'll chuck both those up on a graphic across the screen there for you. That's it from us, team. Like I say, keep an eye on the page. We're going to be doing this for all the local candidates in Christchurch. But for now, team, stay safe, stay free. We'll see you again real soon. Thanks, Mike.
See you guys.
Awesome. Now, as we came in, Mike, as I was pulling into your driveway there, I noticed on your billboard that you're using to advertise your campaign, Quokka-Wodger. What's a Quokka-Wodger?
Well, that's my conversation starter.
Excellent.
A Quokka-Wodger, back in the 1800s, is a marionette puppet pulled by strings.
Yes.
But the political meaning is of a person who's supposed to be representing their constituents, but is controlled by a third party.
Yeah, well put. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So we don't want any of those, and that's part of what you're standing for. That's awesome. Perfect. Yeah.